We got the Fort back here on the program. Justin Sumter, who's going to be taking on LFA middleweight champion Ian Heinisch, coming up here at Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series on July 31st. Justin, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just got back from Las Vegas last night. Well, early this morning, so I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, and look at the dedication here. You come off a plane, you're doing an interview with me. You're a true pro, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me how this all came together, because I saw initially you were supposed to fight on that CES card against Ron Stallings. Then you find out you're on Contender Series. How did this all come together?
Well, my manager Tyson with Top Game Management, he messaged me and told me that, hey, we got this good fight CES, but he said we also put a clause in there that if the UFC contacted me for the Contender Series, that I'll be able to step out of that contract and move forward for the UFC. So that happened. I was at work. I was in a meeting, and my coach Nick told me, hey, I got some good news, and I was like, let me talk to you after this meeting. Get at the meeting, and he says, I got a shot for the Contender Series, and I was just ecstatic.
And has it been tough in a way keeping it a secret? I know the news is out now, but I know initially you guys aren't really allowed to talk about the fight just because the UFC always wants to announce it first. Was that difficult at all?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult, you know what I mean? Because everyone's like, oh, man, let me get tickets to your next fight. And I'm like, oh, sure, man. I'll let you know, you know what I mean? I hate keeping stuff, especially from my friends and fans. But you know what I mean? It wasn't too long enough, and I was able to say it, and it's just been good ever since.
Excellent, man. Now, I said off the top, LFA middleweight champion, that's who you're taking on, and I'm sure I'm going to get some comments, people being like, you're wrong, but he is now the LFA middleweight champion because Anthony Hernandez was the official champ, but he signed with the UFC. Heinisch was the interim champ, so you're taking on the real LFA champ at this point. I don't know, does that mean any more to you as far as this matchup?
You know what I mean? I'm not nothing really, you know what I mean? I was really in my mind, I was expecting to get the CES title, and immediately I was going to call out LFA, their middleweight, whoever it was, just because
Hernandez, yeah, and that's
network.
Yeah, I was going to say it was Hernandez, and Hernandez just won on the Contender Series, so he's in the UFC now. So you might have to wait till you get to the UFC to get that matchup.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, but now that I was going to see who the top Access TV middleweight is now, because I think he's number 1, I'm number 6 or 5 on there. So really, I wanted to fight the best, and we're on the same network, so that's an awesome opportunity just to fight somebody that's on the same scene as you, and he's supposed to be the number 1 guy. And this I think it's a better opportunity now because we can get more people to see it in the contender cage. So I think that's good along that side.
Was Ian someone that you had scouted before this matchup? Like, you mentioned, you'd been paying attention to LFA, but I'm sure your paths wouldn't have crossed unless you fought for LFA because Ian's all the way out in Colorado.
Yeah, definitely. All the guys on Access TV that the 85ers. I was looking at Eric Anders before he went to the UFC. I was looking at Ian and
Brendan Allen.
Yeah, and it's. A competition is competition. Any 85er that's on the scene right now is my competition. So I look at them at that aspect of, how can I beat them, how their skills match up against mine and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you fought really tough guys in your career. Actually, you and I talked about this a few months ago. I forgot that you fought Eric Anders in your amateur career, and he actually missed weight for that fight, which is interesting. So, people look at your record, but I mean, in general, you've had one loss professionally against Tim Karen, but I'm sure if you guys rematch now, that would be a different story.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'm always improving, always trying to be better than I was yesterday. So, I take that fight, look at it now, and I'm like, I'm a completely different fighter than I was then. And, hopefully the guys, if I ever do a rematch, they're going to be a different fighter as well, because if they're fighting the same way, I'm definitely going to run through them.
And how do you feel like you match up against Heinisch in this fight?
I think I match up very well. I'm definitely a long, lankier fighter. I think we both kind of bring the same intensity when we step in the cage where, we're both trying to finish quick and finish decidingly. He has some definitely good wrestling, but, I have decent wrestling and I have a really slick jiu-jitsu game. So, even if he wants to tie up, try to take me down, he's going to be in a world of hurt, as well as if he tries to stand, I got my long, rangy shots, and I'm always trying to finish there.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm looking at in this matchup as far as both of you guys, your builds. You are, 6 foot, I'm just looking here on Tapology, 6'2", you get a 78-inch reach. Ian's 5'11", only has a 71-inch reach, so that's a big difference if he's not able to get in on the inside, because if you look at his fights, a lot of his wins have been by knockout and is him being able to get in on guys, but if you have those lanky arms, that must be a nice advantage for you in this fight.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm definitely been looking at, setting things up, trying to, kind of work my game towards shorter guys, you know what I mean? I would say he's probably I think Roger Carroll and him are about the same height. I think Roger Carroll might be a little bit taller than him, but trying to get my skills and my timing into a time frame of fighting a smaller guy. I think I'm adequate, because I would say I'm the bigger range of a middleweight. I'm kind of pushing a little bit light heavyweight, but you're still being trim enough to go down to 85. So I think it's a really good matchup for me.
And have you kept things the same for training camp as far as training partners and everything like that, or have you switched anything up for this camp?
Nothing really, you know what I mean? I've been going to up to Catone's gym, training with Carl Robertson, Rex Harris, Corey Anderson. So those guys up there, making that step up and training with them has definitely helped. My team FA is just ever getting bigger. You know what I mean? More people are coming, more different talent. And it's just phenomenal, the kind of support and the teamwork that we have up here in New England.
And if people didn't get that abbreviation, that's Fighting Arts Academy. Got to give that a quick plug here in this interview. But let's talk about, getting down to 85. Is that weight cut process already started as far as you getting down?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm sitting around like 95, 200.
Oh, nice.
And,
okay.
So that's kind of the perfect range for me. If I can get down to 95 within like 2 weeks, I'm good. But I'm trying to get there a little bit earlier so I can kind of smooth out and work with my body at 185. Because, I went to Las Vegas, and that flight is kind of long. So I just want to make sure my body is, right on point where I need to be before I even step foot there. So that way it's not really a shock to my body.
And who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
It's going to be my teammate, Constantine Gamilez, and Nick Newell, my coach.
Oh, nice. And I just saw Newell had, his fight coming up. I think it was just announced now that he's going to be, we knew he was on Contender Series, but he has an opponent now, I see, a guy from Team Alpha Male, I see. Yeah.
Real cool guy. Actually, it was funny. Like, I didn't know who Nick was fighting until, like, we ran into Uriah Faber because he was there filming, and we were, like, talking, and I mentioned my coach, Nick, to him, and he had a strange look on his face for a little bit, and I was like, oh, I guess our guys are fighting. So,
yeah.
But he's definitely a professional. Nothing strange or anything. Cool guy. I forget the guy's name, but he's also a cool guy. So I'm really, really excited to see Nick just go in there and show the world what he has, because I already know what he has. But just getting the world on his side and believing in him like I believe in him is really cool.
How do you see this fight playing out on July 31st?
Man, I see it being extremely competitive. But I see my hands being raised at the end of the fight, and me getting that contract.
Absolutely. Is there more pressure with the fact you have to finish? Because usually I haven't seen anyone really get a decision and then you get the contract. It's usually you got to go in there for the kill.
Yeah. You definitely have to go in there for the kill. I've been training for 7 years, and not to say like everything that I trained for is here in that moment, but all that experience, all that time in the cage, in training and stuff, it kind of boils down to these next 15 minutes I step in there. So I'm gonna give it my all and try to definitely get that finish.
You mentioned the plane ride. It's a bit of a long one. What do you like doing on the airplane? I know sleep is important if you can actually get some shut eye on the plane, but are you a podcast guy? Are you reading a book? You watching a movie? What would I find you doing?
Well, like I'm the worst planner. I don't think about what I should bring to the flight until the day before. But I'm definitely gonna get on some download a series or something on Netflix, and then kind of download a couple podcasts so I can keep my time occupied. But I am a sleeper. You know what I mean? If I'm a little bit tired, I'm definitely going to sleep on a plane.
What podcast are you listening to right now?
Joe Rogan's podcast.
Like everyone, yeah.
Yeah, I missed a couple of them, and my friend's been telling me about it, so I gotta download the last 3 and try to catch up on those.
Yeah, and we certainly got to watch this fight. It's coming up here July 31st, live on UFC Fight Pass. It is Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Justin, again, congratulations on the opportunity. It's going to be an awesome fight. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if they want to get any cool shirts like you're wearing there right now, by all means, the floor is yours.
All right, you guys can follow me on Fort Sumter MMA on Instagram and Twitter, and Justin the Fort Sumter on Facebook. You can get these shirts. Hit up PG Sports. They made this one specifically for me, so you can hit them up, tell them you like it, and you'd like to get one. Also, I have some shirts coming out, my personal logo and my sponsors on the back. Those will be available the second week of July, so you can message me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and get some information there. So.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.